You're at Edge of the Web, and your host of this show takes the gigantic challenge of search engine marketing success extremely seriously.
My selfie just hit 100 likes. 100!
He knows exactly where his true priorities need to be. Here's your host, Aaron Sparks.
So, we've been talking about lead acquisition for your website, driven by digital marketing efforts, all right? So if you're turning in, this is Jack Frisby of Optimized Selling Solutions, who was commissioned by Site Strategies to deliver, to discover and illuminate some facts around the most critical component of lead acquisition funnel. That's the response time, the persistence, and nurture factors of lead acquisition. Jack, thanks so much for staying on here.
You are welcome.
Well, I appreciate it. We uncovered some very important data from research led by Leads 360 several years ago, and it has a critical impact on conversion rates. Jack, we were just mentioning this over the first segment here. Conversion rates from a 25 million data point research analysis, Lead 360 actually showed that conversion rates are 391% higher whenever the lead that comes through, either through a phone call or form fill, is actually contacted a minute later. Okay? 120% increase in conversion rates just within a 2-minute response window, 98% in 3 minutes, and 62% increase in conversion rate in under 30 minutes, and 36% in under an hour. So, I mean, with that window, if sales directors are actually listening to this show, they need to measure their performance from those type of factors, don't they?
Absolutely. And I think, a good place to start is just to say, could we potentially respond within 5 minutes? We're going to get a very significant bump to our response rates if we could just respond within 5 minutes. Within 1 minute would be fantastic, but when was the last time that somebody responded to, you within 1 minute? It just does not happen.
I just responded to you in a minute.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a web request.
What did you guys say?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about Doug's rap video.
That's more entertaining anyway.
Focus. Well, there's something else. There's another key factor, not just in response time. It has to do with persistence, and we have a bit more information to be able to provide you at sitestrategies.com about these key aspects. There's a recent analysis of 15 million sales leads, and the chance to increase by 87% is if you just turn your lead discovery from 2 calls to just 1. If you just follow up on a lead twice, you're increasing your chance of contacting that lead by 87%. And the same studies revealed that a disappointing 50% of leads are never called a second time. Well, and then these are the type of factors that you need to pay attention to whenever you're managing a sales funnel. And this may sound practical, it may sound common sense, but these are factors that are dropped on a regular basis. I mean, nearly 60% of salespeople make less than the 6th contact attempt to actually get a hold of somebody, and you have to look at what your sales culture is looking like. We pay attention to this because we are constantly seeing, as an online marketing organization, bring leads to our clients, there's this factor that can actually limit the success of any campaign that they engage in. And it's getting the sales response dialed in and firmly targeting those type of numbers, that type of response time.
So if you think about it just from a practical perspective, if you respond immediately to somebody who sends in a web request, they're still sitting there at their computer.
That's right.
So your chances of being able to reach that person are increased significantly just because you responded quickly. You know where they are.
They're right there.
And again, it goes back to that idea that 75% of these buying decisions are made, relative to the first person who gives them significantly good, solid information. So why would you not want to be the first person to give them that information? Mm-hmm. They just don't go looking any further in many cases.
Yeah, and that loyalty factor we talked about is
absolutely.
Whenever somebody calls, there's much more of a loyal connection to actually do business with that firm. Tactics we can talk about here are time of days and day of week matter whenever you're actually following up on a call as well. Ensuring that your calling schedule aligns with the best time of day and the best days of week. I mean, these are things from a persistence and a follow-up that actually do affect the best time of day to contact. If it's not inside that response window,
Right.
Right.
Well, so actually, we want to respond within, let's say, a 5-minute time frame.
Right.
But then we also want to continue to follow up with that lead.
Exactly.
So just like you said, the vast majority of the time, people are not making more than one attempt even to contact that person. So let's say, I get somebody that sends in a lead request at 8 a.m., I respond within 5 minutes. Well, then what are the best times of the day to continue the pursuit of at least making contact with that lead and having an initial conversation with them?
Absolutely. So best time of days for those follow-ups are from 4 to 6 p.m. Worst times are from 11 to 12 p.m. Best time of day to qualify is 8 to 9 in the morning.
And 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Absolutely.
Right.
Best days of the week to contact or qualify are Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday's the best. Tuesday is the worst.
And what happens a lot of times is a salesperson comes into the office, they get a cup of coffee, they kind of get ready, they get all their ducks in a row. By the time they get around to making calls, it's maybe 10, 11 o'clock. Well, guess what? They've just bumped into the worst possible time of the day to be making those calls.
Now, from a persistence standpoint, changing over to another tactic real quickly here, the nurture side of things also tends to get forgotten. Contacting a lead is the first step to a higher conversion rate, but not all leads turn into an instant lead, obviously.
Right.
In some companies, they're completely dropped or lost. Progressive businesses have started focusing on squeezing the value out of those leads from a nurturing program, and they're forgetting that approximately 95% of leads do not close right away. 50% of those leads will eventually buy and figure, that dwarfs the 5% that are quick converting leads as well. Well, we're going to wrap up here. There's a lot of information in this show. We're going to put a lot of this online at sitestrategics.com. You need to track and measure everything that you do. Key metrics of speed to first contact, speed, a number of contact types, speed to qualify. All those things are important about your lead acquisition. Don't leave it to the web lead to actually fulfill this. You got to change your sales culture.